Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Codex review for the Codex Station. I'm Dan Kelly, and today I'll be reviewing the 8-issue miniseries Teenagers from Mars. It was self-published between 2001 and 2003, and then was put together in a collected volume by Gigantic Graphic Novels. It was written by Rick Spears and drawn by Rob G. The story is about the characters Macon, Max, and Madison. They live in the small town of Mars. Macon works at the local Walmart, which is a Walmart parody, during the day and publishes an underground comic at night. Max is a bit younger, and him and his friends rob Confederate graves to sell what they find to the local pawn shop to get money so they can buy comic books. Madison is a basically a take no grief kind of punk rock girl that just pretty much kind of does what she wants to do. Macon ends up getting fired from the store that he works at after he gets in a fight with his boss over selling comic books when his boss tells him to get rid of them after a parent complains, and Macon says no, punches his boss who fires him. Later on, after he meets Madison at a party, they get to the store. He tells her what happened. They vandalize the store and they spray paint Comic Book Liberation Army on the wall of it as a joke. But then it ends up turning into a big thing where the people in the town think that it's real, and uh, and everything just kind of goes off the rails for them after that. It's really a story at its core about censorship and fighting for freedom of speech, um, and for individuality and not conforming to what everyone else around you does. It also is full of a lot of fights and fake zombies and grave robbing and romance and teenage rebellion. Um, Macon Madison themselves kind of end up by the end of the book becoming this comic book Bonnie and Clyde in their fight against the authorities of the town. One of the co-creators, the writer of it, Rick Spears, summed up the series by saying it's Goonies meets Fight Club, directed by John Hughes, and it's a pretty dead-on description of it. It's a fun story. The characters are interesting. You definitely end up rooting for the main characters, um, but it's not perfect. It starts off believable with believable scenarios, but as it goes, it kind of becomes more outlandish. Almost feels like a over the top 80s movie by the end of it, which someone like me is a fan of over the top 80s movies, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. Um, they kind of go from outcasts at the beginning of the book to outlaws by the end of it. At the end of the last issue of it, issue 8, um, they said there would be a sequel called Curse of the Teenagers from Mars, but that ended up never happening. I'm not really sure why. Uh, Overall, I would rate the book 7 out of 10. Like I said, the writing is good with some interesting characters. The artwork, it's black and white artwork, but it really fits with the tone of the story. Um, so yeah, it's an interesting read. If you can find it, you could probably pick it up on Amazon, the graphic novel of it. Uh, so once again, this has been another Codex review for the Codex Station. I'm Dan Kelly. You can find me on Instagram on Dan Kelly Art. Be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe for my account as well as for all the Codex stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time by the spinner rack.